Good day, everyone. This is Annerine Wenhold from Kairos Academy, and welcome to today's webinar. We are passionate about creating pathways that truly prepare students for the future. Kairos operates in partnership with Home Life Academy, or better known as HLA, where we support over 1,000 South African students and HLA more than 50,000 globally, where we offer the American High School Diploma and then personalized education to help our children and students succeed. Now, today, I'm very excited to explore our growing collaboration with Eduvos, a true innovator and trendsetter in South African higher education. Now, since our interactions began in 2021, we've both seen incredible growth in our respective businesses, and I'm excited for what's ahead. Today, we are joined, as you would see, by Jonathan Buck. Jonathan, I don't know if your other colleagues are here yet, so I will ask you if you do see or recognize them. I saw there were a couple of interesting naming conventions that came through. Then you can kindly introduce them to us as well. Jonathan and possibly as well Willie Trytsman, who's the online manager for Eduvos, will guide us then through Eduvos's degree offerings and how they are shaping pathways for students to thrive locally and globally. In today's session, we will wrap up with a Q&A, so you're welcome to post questions in the chat function, where we will address those after the presentation. And don't worry if you miss anything, and this session is being recorded and will be available on the Kairos YouTube channel. That details have been shared in the chat. So, Jonathan, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to you. You are more than welcome to share your screen.
Thank you so much, Annerine. Yeah, really a wonderful privilege for you to allow Eduvos Tertiary Institution to come and present to you today. And for those who are not able to join us, I'm glad it is recorded so you can watch it at another time. I am joined by a number of my colleagues. Willie Trytsman, as mentioned, he's our campus manager of our online campus. He'll be answering any of the questions in the chat box, as well as our higher education consultants, Marguerite Hutting, and they will also be looking at some of the questions if I'm not able to answer them while presenting. So thank you so much for allowing us to come and join you, as well as our head of nationality and our regulatory and national head of compliance, Mr. Floris Waka, will also be joining us, and he'll be talking a little bit later after I present on the entry requirements. Right, I'm going to share my screen with you. Right, perfect. Can you all see my screen? If someone can maybe just give me a shout out, yes, that you can see it.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if the video is going to play with music, so let's just see how that goes. All right, so that was just a quick little video about Eduvos. I just want to chat to you about a few more things and some very important questions I think that you should be asking yourself. So I always like to start off my presentations by asking, why do you think it's important to study after matric? And I think there's a lot of answers to this. I don't always think there's a right answer or a wrong answer, but it's a question I think that you matrics should be asking yourself. Why do you think it's important to study after matric? And then I'll ask you a second question. What do you think is the current unemployment rate in South Africa? Now, I know there are a number of different statistics out there. We usually look at the working age population, that is the age group of those who can work in this country. So those are two sort of important questions that you need to ask yourself. Then I said to myself, well, why am I asking those two important questions? Okay. And firstly, when we look at the percentage of the current unemployment rate, it's somewhere between 42 and 46%. So usually when I'm looking at presenting in a class, I usually draw a line down the middle of the classroom and I say, okay, just about half of you, or just less than half of you, if we all had to walk out the school together or we walk out the room together, just less than half of you will be unemployed in this country. Now, that's a very, very scary statistic to think about. You've now been at school for 11, 12, 13 years, and you're so excited and you're wanting to look for employment, and you discover, well, less than half of you will be unemployed in this country. But then I say to the students, there is hope. There is positive news out there. Now, it also states that in this country, all the students that complete a qualification, and it doesn't state what qualification. It just says if they complete a tertiary education, that 91% of those students will find employment. So just a small percentage of just less than 10%, 9.3% of those students do not find employment. That is why your teachers, your principal, your parents, those of you who have a mentor, will all encourage you to go and study something after matric, because it's going to increase your chances of finding employment. Now, as you can see, it's much better than the 42% or 46% of unemployment. If you study tertiary education, it's going to increase your chances. So go out there and study something after school. Okay? I always look at when you're choosing your tertiary education or your tertiary institution, always think about the relevance of the qualifications, the relevance of the tertiary institution or the public university. So think about it. When you choose your institution, you've got to ask yourself some important questions. The choices of qualifications that you want to be doing. Give yourself a few options. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. Think about a few areas that you can go into. Okay, it's very, very important because this is going to decide your future. When I look at a tertiary institution, or even when you're looking at a school, everyone has values. If I look at where I'm working, companies, organizations, industries all have values. So does universities or tertiary institutions. You want to align yourself with values that are similar to yours, because if you had to think about it, you might be studying for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or even longer, 5 years. You're going to be there for some time. So these are just some of the values that we have at Eduvos. We are visionary. We're all about the students. We are focused and student-centered. We are life learners. We are agile. We are flexible, continuous learning. A lot of things other than just what you can see on the screen here, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about it a little bit later. Just about Eduvos, for those of you that don't know, we have 12 physical campuses around the country. We're in 9 out of the 11 provinces. So just to mention them, we have 4 in Gauteng. We have our Pretoria campus, we have our Midrand campus, Thunderbale Park, and Bedford View. Those of you that maybe want to study near the coast, Western Cape, we've got our Claremont camp, our Mowbray campus, Tiger Valley campus. Then we also have in Nelson Mandela Bay, East London, Durban, Nelspruit, Potchefstroom, and KwaZulu-Natal. So there's a lot to choose from. One of our unique selling points is, for example, let's say you start out studying at our physical campuses, such as Pretoria, and you relocate for some reason to the Western Cape, it's a very simple transfer from one campus to the other campus. You don't need to apply for credits because we are part of the same organization. And sometimes students don't always think about that. Maybe you start studying at a public university in Pretoria and you want to move to another, for example, tertiary institution or public university in Cape Town. You must keep in mind every university is different. So you'll never be able to transfer 100% of your credits or all your modules. They're only going to credit you for some and probably maximum only 50%. So that is one of the unique selling points with Eduvos. You can simply transfer from one physical campus to the other. As you can see, this is our national footprint, just to give you a better idea of where our campuses are situated. As mentioned, we're in 9 out of the 11 provinces. We're just not in the Northern Cape or Limpopo province. Okay, so Eduvos. How did we come up with this name? In 2021, we were changed from Pearson's Institute of Higher Education to Eduvos, and the word Eduvos was derived from 2 words. Edu, I think you can all know that one. It's quite easy. It's derived from the word education, which means custodianship and responsibility. The Latin word vos is you becoming the best version of yourself. So that's pretty much straightforward. We want you, the student, taking responsibility for your own education, and it's becoming the best version of yourself. And that is what we want to prepare all our students, or we call them our bossy students. Right. This is our slogan that we stand by, not just only our students, but us employees of the business, is shaping potential, student by student, towards Africa's prosperity. Okay, so it's very important when you're choosing your tertiary institution or a public university, make sure they are accredited with the right governing bodies. So I know there's some big words here and some difficult acronyms to remember, but just try and focus on just a few. So the Department of Higher Education Training, or commonly known as the DHET. This is very, very important, okay? As well as the South African Higher Education Quality Committee, South Africa. But something I want you to focus on is the National Qualifications Framework, which is all our qualifications are recorded by SAQA. Now, if you've ever heard qualifications that come with an NQF level, this is from SAQA. And this is a very important part that I want you to focus on. When you're studying a higher certificate, it gives you an NQF level 5, which means it's your educational level. Okay, so when you're studying a diploma, it gives you an NQF level 6, a degree, NQF level 7, honors, NQF level 8, and it keeps going up and up. So when you're applying for employment one day, the businesses don't look at where you've studied. They want to know what is your NQF level. Okay, so this is very, very important when you're going out and doing research. Is the tertiary institution, are they accredited and are they recognized? Your employment is also our priority. So we are also not only just focused on the qualification that we're teaching you, but also about your future and how we can equip you to become ready and to become employed. Okay, so this is preparing you for your future. And many of our students, they go through what is called our Employability Center, where our final year students are exposed, where we equip you. Okay, remember, no one can guarantee jobs, but we can help equip you to become employable. We know what recruitment agencies are looking for. Okay, so we can help construct a CV, as well as we invite industry-related business partners to come and have a look at our third-year students where they can showcase their portfolios to you. And all our students that go through the Employability Center have a much higher closing ratio of finding employment when you are complete with your studies. Okay, we offer each student a very individualized experience. Sometimes when it becomes a very big university, you can become a little bit lost in the system because you're just a number. With Eduvos, we are very much focused on smaller classrooms so that our lecturers and our advisors, our student advisors, can focus on you as a student. That's very, very important. And we have a student-centric approach. Every student is our priority at Eduvos. We offer individual and flexible learning approaches. What does that mean? Well, we have 3 different modes of delivery at Eduvos. Okay, so you can study face-to-face. That means at a campus face-to-face, full-time. You can also, which will probably speak more to this crowd, is the online approach, which is part-time online or full-time online. So your entire studies, from your lectures to your assessments to your tests that you write, is done everything online. And I think if we're speaking to you, online students, for your online school, I think this might speak a lot more to you, that you don't have to attend a physical face-to-face class. All your classes, if you're doing online, will be recorded as well. So in case you might miss a session or you want to go back to a lecture, you can also access from your student portal. Your student portal at Eduvos is called My LMS. And all these things will teach you in your orientation week. Our final mode of delivery is distance learning. You can also do this part-time or full-time, but it is self-paced and you get to study at your own pace. So those are the three modes of delivery: face-to-face, online part-time, and online full-time, as well as your distance learning approach. That gives you the flexibility of how you want to study. As I mentioned, one of our unique selling points is our classroom sizes are a lot smaller so that we can give you more of a one-on-one attention, which can allow you to interact more closely with your lecturer, but also you get to work with your peers and your colleagues and your students around you. That's so important. You also will be assigned a student advisor, or we call them our SAAs. Every single student that comes to Eduvos, whether you face-to-face or online, will be assigned a student advisor. This person will be helping you from the time you enroll to the time you finish your studies with any queries, whether it be positive or negative or things that you're struggling with. Your student advisor will be there right till the end. Every single one of our 12 campuses has its own unique vibe. We also have and use our latest technologies in the classrooms, okay, which does separate us from our competitors. We also have student experience, and this is also important because we understand that, yes, the content and all the knowledge that you're going to be learning from your lectures is important because ultimately you're here to get a qualification, but also student experience is very, very important. And we have social clubs, sporting clubs that you can get involved in, whether you're online or physical face-to-face, which is run by our SRCs. And everyone has access to these student experience. Now, to talk about the qualifications that we offer, we have 4 faculties: the Applied Science, Commerce and Law, Humanities, and Information Technology. Before I speak about each faculty, we first look at when you give us your matric exemption, we look at what qualifications you are now eligible for. So first and foremost, we always start, okay, if you do not have the entry requirements for a degree, which is generally a bachelor's pass, we can look at 2 qualifications: a pre-degree in foundation program or a higher certificate. Now, if you're studying full-time, they are both a 1-year qualification. The only difference is the following: a pre-degree foundation program, 1 year to complete full-time, but it does not come with an NQF level. A higher certificate is also a 1-year qualification, full-time, but it comes with an NQF level 5. So we really do try and encourage students to first try and see if there is a higher certificate in that faculty to complete first, because it is better than a matric. A matric is an NQF level 4 and a higher certificate is an NQF level 5. Now you have 2 options. With a higher certificate, after completion, you can actually go and find employment because it's better than a matric, okay? Or we advise an NQF level 5 will give you direct entry into the degree, because remember, you didn't obtain a bachelor's pass. Now, pre-degree does not come with an NQF level, so that means once you finish that pre-degree, it will also give you direct access into the degree program. And that is the only difference. Now, you might say to me, well, I'm always going to do a high certificate. And that would normally be the option. But in some faculties, there just is no high certificate. And your only option is to take a pre-degree. And finally, if you do have a bachelor's pass, then we can put you through to our degree programs. Let's look at the applied science faculty. So this is where we have our biomedicine and biotechnology. It is quite a niche market and very exciting, actually. It's got a lot to do with human physiology, microbiology. They teach you the fundamentals of molecular biology, medical biotechnology, plant propagation, and a lot of other things as well. Three core subjects that you need to have is your pure maths, your physical science, and your life science. There's also a high APS score of 32. But these entry requirements we'll discuss with you personally on a one-on-one basis. We currently have it at our Midrand campus and our Pretoria campus. And this is quite specialized and you'll be based a lot in laboratories. Commerce and law. Here we have a lot of qualifications that relates to business and law. So we have our high certificate in business management. We also have our Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Commerce, BCom Accounting, BCom in HR Management, BCom Law, BCom Marketing, BCom in Tourism Management, as well as we have an honors program in business management. Okay, then we have more of our creative people, which falls under humanities. There we have our graphics, arts, and design, which you also can go into your honors program, and the BA level, where we have a lot of different kinds of majors, where we can do psychology, industrial psychology, media studies, BA law. And our final faculty, also very exciting and strong, a very strong faculty, is our information technology faculty. So we have a lot of pre-degrees as well as higher certificates that you can find yourself in information systems such as cloud computing, machine learning, web development, data analytics, cybersecurity. And then, of course, we have our BSc IT streams. We have the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and then the Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, where you can specialize in either data science, robotics, software engineering, and security and network engineering. Those are the four faculties, and in brief, the qualifications that we offer. Okay, as I mentioned to you, we also have our student supports, such as our SAAs, but also for our wellness and support program that is available to equip our students. As well as if you are in need of any support services, we do have a 24-hour helpline, which is very important to our students. These are just some of the testimonials that are pulled from our alumni students. Firstly, we have one of our biomedicine graduates, where she said, I chose Eduvos because of their class sizes, as I mentioned, a lot smaller and more focused, and better career prospects. And I always wanted to study with the best. Then we have Kayleen Williams, who completed her BCom Law. She said, I prefer a private university. It is easier to access to our lecturers, and they are more open to advising and guiding us individually. And lastly, I pulled Dylan Smith, who graduated with a BSc IT degree, and he said the Bachelor of Science in Information Technology was sufficient in allowing me to pursue my dream of becoming a software engineer, as well as to apply business concepts to solve our real-world problems. Then finally, I'm just going to end off is our application process. It's quite simple. I'm going to maybe ask one of my colleagues to maybe pop the application form in the chat box where you need to complete an application form. We'll need supporting documents such as your latest school results. We'll need a photo or a copy of you, the student's ID, and then we need a copy of the parent or sponsor's ID. Those are the three supporting documents. Completing the application form, we can also send you the fee structure for 2025, and as well as we have an application fee of 300 Rand. Completing this application process will then give you the provisional acceptance letter that you need in order for us to provisionally keep your space at Eduvos. So this is the application process that you can do, as well as maybe I'm going to ask my colleagues just to pop in the chat box an email address where you can send your application forms as well as all your supporting documents. And then a higher education consultant like myself will be able to get hold of you and hold your hands and take you through any other inquiries that you might need when it comes to your tertiary education. All right. Thank you very much. I am now going to hand over to Flory. Is Flory on the call? And he'll take you through to the entry requirements.
Good day, sir. Good day, all. My name is Floris. I just want to switch on the camera and you will be able to see me. In the meantime, you can hear my voice. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Flory.
Lovely. Okay. The camera is on its way. It's switching on. Where do you press? Where do you go? Lovely. But yeah, let's continue with my voice for now. So as per the entrance requirement, I will try